am Sharon Pérez, your host for today's presentation, and we are here to present Home Everywhere. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the clothing preferences of many people have evolved to comfortable, durable, and sustainable apparel. Together, Lenzing and Hyosung reacted to those needs and developed Home Everywhere, a collection of eco-friendly performance fabrics. And to present today more details about this collection, we have Andreas Gürtler, Global Business Development Senior Manager for Activewear at Lenzing. And we have Michael Simko, Global Marketing Director for Hyosung. Welcome, Bert. Welcome both. And first, we'll learn more and we'll hear from Andreas Gürtler.
Thank you, Sharon. Hello, everyone, and thank you for your numerous participation to this call. So I would like to start with this slide to introduce our company, Lenzing, and where we are located. You can see here, this is the Lenzing site. This is in the middle of Austria, halfway between Linz and Salzburg. And you will easily notice here this crystal clear lake, which supplies our company with water, which goes through to the company and leaves the company. This is very important to know, as clean as it goes in. So also worth to mention that the capacity of our water sewage treatment plant has the capacity of a city like Vienna, equivalent to 1 million people. It means that we even have a surplus of, let's put it that way, we even can clean the water of the surrounding communities. Here you can see this location here. This is a Lenzing town, or let's say village. And this is the area of Lenzing, which is much bigger than that. I would like to show you also the water switch site. This is here. And here in this area, in this square area, this is our lumber yard. So the incoming trunks will be stored here. We'll convert it with this little tiny, actually it's not tiny, it's quite big. As you can imagine here, the trunks will be chopped into little tiny wood pieces, which will be converted into cellulose and pulp where we produce our fibers. So 40% of a tree, for example, is cellulose for our fiber production. 10% are byproducts such as acetic acid for the vinegar, for the local food industry in Austria, and xylitol, which is a wood sugar for artificial sugar products like lifesavers or chewing gums. Furfural, this is a diluter for the crude oil industry. So it means that also the crude oil industry becomes more sustainable with using our furfurals, and also soda. And you will ask yourself, or question yourself, what is happening with the remaining 50%? The remaining 50% are used to generate energy. We call it bioenergy for our factory. We even have a surplus which we feed into the public grid. So in that context, we could be also considered as a solar-driven power plant, because the trees they grow with CO2 and water, and the 50% which we use to produce our energy are made from as a byproduct from the trees. And here you can see on the right-hand side from top clockwise our 4 factories, our 4 large cell factories, starting here with the Jumbo factory, the Jumbo plant, the latest generation here in Lenzing. Then the second one is in Heiligenkreuz, where we produce our LF fibers near the Hungarian border. Then number 3 is our factory in UK, where we produce special fibers. And 4 is our factory or site in Mobile, Alabama. And the 2 others here, you can see these are our viscose plants. This one is number 5 is in Nanjing, and the other one here, South Pacific viscose, is in Purwakarta in Indonesia.
Thank you, Andreas. And can you tell us, where do Lenzing fibers come from?
Thank you. Our fibers are coming from natural forestry, from wood which is PFC and FSC certified. FSC means Forestry Stewardship Council, and PFC means Pan Forestry Stewardship Council. So we do not only produce our own pulp. So at our other sites, we have to buy pulp from pulp mills. Like for example, for lyocell, we are buying trees which grow on the so-called marginal land, which cannot be used for crop production. But here also the irrigation comes from natural rainfall, so it's harvested under very sustainable conditions. Then again, it will be converted into wood chips and to pulp. We buy the pulp in terms of lyocell if we buy it from other factories. In Lenzing, we produce our own pulp. Then from the pulp, the fiber will be produced. We produce the fibers in our factories. And with this chart, you can see here that we supply to different, let's put it that way, business units. So the majority, 65% at the moment, we supply to the textile industry, and the 35% we supply to the non-woven industry for hygiene products. And there's another field where we are looking at. This is new business areas, industrials, for example, where we are looking at shoe products. In the meantime, shoes can be produced, or even every part of the shoe can be produced together with our fibers. So the laces of 100% lyocell, for example, that's lyocell. The inner lining with blends with our fibers and the other fibers and synthetic fibers, and also the soles with incorporated tensile powder in order to reduce to increase the friction. That picture, as you can see here on the right-hand side, these vegetable nets. Also, those ones can be produced in the meantime with our fibers. So big retailers, food retailers in Austria, are using now these sustainable, biodegradable food nets. So last but not least about our company here, I would like to show you the generations of our 3 fiber products. Some 8 years ago, excluding the research work which was done prior to launch the fibers. We started with Lenzing viscose in the 30s, in the last century. Then 6 years ago, we came up with a modified viscose, the modal fiber. And more than 25 years ago, we came up with Lenzing lyocell, which is the latest generation of cellulosic fibers, fibers, because this is a direct solvent spinning process where wood pulp, a very clean wood pulp, will be brought into solution with another chemistry which is non-toxic and will be recovered by almost 100%, will be brought into solution, excluded spinnerets. This is then the tensile lyocell fiber. And you can see here also Lenzing viscose. Ecosoft is a fiber which meets the highest standards in the industry with recovering auxiliary chemistry. We'll come to the other fibers later in that presentation, also with Fibra and Tensilux, which are our latest launches of superior products.
Thank you, Andreas. And Mike, can you please tell us a little bit about Hyosung?
Sure, thank you. Hello, Sharon and Andreas and everyone else on the call. Yeah, for those not familiar with Hyosung, we are the largest spandex producer in the world under our brand Creora. Roughly a third of the market share worldwide, and we have everything from the basic line to a lot of innovation products, which we'll talk about some of them later in this webinar. We also have a nylon and polyester division, and those are filament yarns focused mainly on innovation, touch, feel, sort of functionality products. And then lastly, as part of Hyosung's textile group, we actually make fabric as well. We have a fabric and dyeing division focusing mainly on high-end woven products. If we move to the next slide, we'll show you a little bit of our footprint. So for Creora, we have 9 production sites around the world. Our newest one is in India, and we also have China and Korea and Vietnam. We've recently announced expansions in our Turkey plant and also in our Brazilian facility. Those were at the end of last year. In addition to these 9 production sites, we have 2 production sites for nylon, one in Korea, one in Vietnam, and also 2 for polyester, one in Korea, one in China. So it gives us a pretty good worldwide footprint. We have about 40 sales and marketing offices around the globe. And when we move to the next slide, we'll kind of talk about how we approach the market. The days of just selling fiber, in my opinion, are over. And so we actively work with the value chain, working with textile solutions to help brands and retailers meet their consumer needs. So we just don't sell fiber. We're actually actively out there working on trends, doing consumer information focus group type activities. And then we work actively with the brands and the retailers so that all of our developments are very targeted on needs and trends. Sharon?
Thank you, Mike and Andreas, for sharing, a background about what you do, what the different companies provide. And now I think it'd be great we can jump into the collection now that we have this background understanding of your fibers and the products that you offer. So if you can please tell us more about the actual fabric collection and trends.
Yeah, so let's talk about the collaboration. So we've worked with Lenzing in the past. They're a great company. They've got a lot of great products. And as we were seeing this seismic change that occurred basically with the pandemic last year, we wanted to understand those trends a little bit more and see how apparel preferences have been changing. And so we wanted to get that whole work from home experience and figure out where we were going to go with that as we emerge from our work from home experiences. So we looked at the trends. We identified 3 trends that we're going to focus on in this. We built out, I think it was 42 garments, 35 fabrics, and pulled in 3 commercial mills to get some product that people could actually touch and feel. So let's actually look at the trends. So yeah, if you look at what our experiences are from the work from home, and we all know this, it's all about casual wear, more comfort, more casual, more basic apparel, more knits than wovens, and we obviously can see, a lot of leggings and sweatpants and workout apparel. So Andreas, why don't you take on the home everywhere concept?
Yeah, thank you, Mike. Yeah, you mentioned it already. People are now more aware about the environment around them, and with COVID-19, consumers are definitely becoming more mindful of the world around them. It's triggering a greater demand for sustainable products that can help to safeguard the planet. Like, for example, global disasters such as Western US wildfire, heavy rain in Asia made people have awareness to sustainability. And at Lenzing, we are more and more committed to collaborating with more like-minded industry partners like Hyosung as we continue to promote greater sustainability through textile innovations. This, last but not least, affected to the apparels to reflect the trend of comfortable and sustainable apparel, which is made from sustainable fibers, which can be worn for multiple occasions, like, for example, for yoga, for indoor training, ergometer training, and so on.
Thanks, Andreas. Mike, can you explain more about the home everywhere concept, such as the trends for this collection?
Yes. Yeah, so the home everywhere concept basically starts with the work from home experience. And as we've been through this past 9 months to 12 months, all of our apparel learnings, what we like, what we don't like, our trends, we feel that we're going to bring those out as we emerge from, to our new normal. So basically, we're going from work from home to home everywhere as we go out and engage society again. So home everywhere is focused on eco-friendly, it's focused on comfort, it's focused on functionality. So under that umbrella, we actually see three subcategories, and we'll talk about these in some detail. So the first one is color your confidence. So it's all about rich colors, but also about things like saving water and helping the environment, and also looking at garments that are lasting longer. The second trend is sumptuous sensations, which is all about incredible touch. It's also bringing in the recycled nature of products and saving of global footprint and greenhouse gases. And then the third one is about versatile comfort. And this is about having functionality in our garments, whether it's cooling or wicking or protection from UV, but also doing it in a very environmentally friendly way. So let's go and look at that first subtopic.
Yes, can you tell us more about color your confidence trend? I know you show Creora color and dyeable spandex. Can you tell us more about how it works and how is it compatible with Tencel?
Okay, so in the color your confidence, we're basically looking at saturated colors. We're trying to make the fabrics more vibrant, so we're eliminating grin through. And so we've come out with two alternatives for people to improve that confidence in color. One is our dope dyed Creora black. So it's a spandex fiber that is black by spinning. And we can combine that with some of the Lenzing Eco colors, and so save on water and energy. Andreas, would you like to talk about your Eco colors?
Yeah, sure. This eco-responsible technology offers a long-lasting color fastness and design flexibility in textiles with our solution-dyed stencil modal fibers. These fibers produced with Eco-color technology have been certified with the European Eco label for textile products, which is, by the way, a label of environmental excellence awarded to products which meet the highest environmental standards throughout their life cycle.
Okay. And then the last fiber product we wanted to show on this before we get into the fabrics was our Creora Color Plus. And this is a newer technology in that it's dye compatible with Lenzing's cellulosic products. And so now you could not just dye the Lenzing modal fibers, but you could also dye the Creora spandex as well. And again, that gives richer, more vibrant colors, and it also eliminates grin through. So if we look at this trend coupled with the garments that we have on the next slide, it's really
Right.
cool.
So, Mike, just one quick point that I wanted to make. So for this color your confidence, you're talking about combining two fibers that have been dope dyed.
Mhm.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And so if we look at some of the garments that were put together, it's really focused on tops and pants. If you look at the first product, we're actually, it goes right to what you're saying, Sharon. We've got Tencel modal going with black elastane. And so that's giving a melange look with yarn dyes. If we go to the next chart, and we can see some more of the fabrics that we pulled together. Again, these are all focusing on rich color and tone. So we would be combining Tencel Modal Micro with the Creora Color Plus. The one that Sharon highlighted, the second one you could see where we're saving water, and we have a deep black product with Tencel Modal Black, very fine gauge, as well as our Creora Black elastane.
Great. And I think we can move to the next trend, sumptuous sensations. So Mike and Andreas, what is so special about Tencel Modal X Micro and about Aerolite?
Yeah. Well, first, the concept is really about exquisite touch and feel. And so, sumptuous sensations is bringing in these fibers that will allow us to get that. So the one we're bringing with functionality is our polyester called Aerolite. A unique cross section. It's got a C cross section, so it's going to give you the wicking, but it's also got a very fine denier per filament profile, so it's going to be giving you that extra nice touch and feel. And combining with your micro products, Andreas?
Yeah, a tensile model with micro technology. We have also air fibers. Outstanding or exceptionally fine, enabling them to be processed into very fine yarns and very fine yarn counts, which can be hence transformed into very light knitted fabrics with offering a super fine comfort. But they're also used for a variety of highly specialized applications where they can offer softness to the skin, smoothness to the touch, and luxurious shine and flow. And in addition to that, it's worth to mention that they offer also an exceptional capacity for thermal regulation and great moisture absorption.
Great. And I think we can move on to looking at the specific fabrics and garments. Thank you.
So the garments we focused on here were basically hoodies and pants. And as you see, kind of the common themes here, we're looking at sustainability, we're looking at comfort, we're looking at lightweight. And as Andreas mentioned, the micro technology really allows them to get into some really fine counts. So you'll see on the right side that they've got a 60s that we're marrying with a recycled polyester as well as a recycled spandex. And so that's giving the touch, the feel, but also the sustainability. Going to the next chart, a few more fabrics that we could call out. We're again focusing on comfort, touch, sustainability. And again, I'll highlight the first one being a very fine micro model, again with recycled polyester and our Creora Regen recycled elastane.
Great. And for the last trend on this collection, versatile comfort, can you both explain to us more about what is so special about Tencel Lyocell and Aqua X and Aero Heat?
Yeah. So this third sub-trend, versatile comfort, is really about bringing functionality to the garments. So we're not just bringing good-looking fabrics or nice-feeling fabrics, but we're also bringing something more. Cool touch, maybe UV protection, maybe moisture management. And so two of the products that Hyosung's highlighting here is our MyPan Aqua X, which is our nylon performance fiber, which basically is cool to touch, cooling over time, and quick drying. And then our second one that we're highlighting to do the adverse is a heat absorbing fiber. So this is a yarn that actually will take energy from the sun or from light and heat the fabric up. Andreas?
Yep. Yeah, Tencel Lyocell is our performance fiber, which has a very smooth surface and a circular cross section with a porous fiber structure, which helps to transport moisture within the fiber. And that leads to optimum functional properties, like, for example, cool touch, as well as reduced odor formation in comparison to other products. Therefore, blending synthetic fibers with Tencel Lyocell fibers results in a high performance sportswear for athletic activities, which can generate high levels of perspiration. And when used in the right fabric design or constructions like double layer, Tencel Lyocell offers a quick drying effect through efficient moisture absorption, resulting in an enhanced visibility and also a great thermal comfort.
Thanks. And then now we can look at the collection more in detail.
Yeah, so again, if we look at the garments, again, they tend to be the tops and the pants. And if you go back to the overall theme, it's really about the work from home experience. So comfort, softness, those sorts of things. But in here, we did bring in some additional functionality. So if you look at the bottom left, we're combining Tencel modal with our heat absorbing yarn and also giving sustainability with a recycled spandex. On the right side, we focused again on a combination of functionality and environmental performance. And so what you'll see is, Tencel again with micro, very fine counts. And we're combining them with the functional product Aqua X, but then we're also adding some environmental aspect to it with our Creora Ecosoft. This product, our Ecosoft Spandex, is a way to save energy and give extra soft feel. So you're able to actually heat set your fabrics at a lower temperature, saving energy. That's where the Eco comes from. And because you are heating them to a lower temperature, they tend to be softer. If we move to the next chart, we could look at a couple of the fabrics that are part of this collection. So again, we're talking about functionality with Lenzing's Tencel Lyocell combined with Hyosung's Aqua X, and then also adding that richer color by using a dyeable spandex, so with Creora Color Plus. The other one I'd like to highlight is a combination yarn poly and Tencel Lyocell combined with the Creora Regen. So again, giving a sustainable story with soft touch and comfort.
Great. Thank you so much, Mike and Andreas. I know that's a very short summary of this collection. For those that are obviously interested in learning more, we will be providing the contact info. If you'd like to receive swatches, we will address all of that coming up. And then afterwards, we will address some questions. I see some are already coming in. Before we conclude and move on to the Q&A, I wanted to ask each one of you if you can please, aside from this collection, maybe talk about other technologies, other fibers, or reiterate any important part that may have been missed previously. And I think we'll start with you, Andreas, with Modal Black.
Yeah, thank you, Sharon. Yeah, the eco-color technology in Lenzing is an eco-responsible technology which implements the process of spun dyeing, whereby color pigments are deeply embedded into pencil modal fibers. And it has a lower impact compared with conventional dyed fabrics in terms of saving up to 50% of water, 50% of energy, and also therefore has a 60% less carbon footprint. At the picture here below, you can see a test that after 20 washing cycles of a black garment at 40 degrees centigrade, according to a household washing machine testing, the Tencel modal black garment shows nearly no difference to an original one, even if after repeated laundries. And with that next slide here, besides solid tones with Tencel modal Eco-Color black fibers, we can offer to our customers also a variety of spun dyed fibers, colors, and also intimate blends of these spun dyed colored fibers, which results into melange tones, different blending ratios, which we can offer from 50 to 70-30% ratio.
Thank you, Andreas. And I did want to point out that for the Tencel Modal Eco-Color technology offering, we offer 11 different colors, 4 of which are running. And what we're seeing here is that some of our mill partners have taken from these 11 colors and further blended them to get a higher variety of color offerings in this melange. So thank you very much, Andreas. And then I'll turn it over. Oh, I'm sorry, you have one more to share. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Sharon. Well, with this slide, I would like to show you one of our latest products, Refibra. In the emerging circular economy of the future, nothing is treated as waste. What is left over from one process becomes input into another one, so keeping and circulating. Our Refibra fibers, which you can see here on top, give second life to the pre-consumer cotton waste from garment manufacturing, which would otherwise end up as landfill or would be incinerated. In Lenzing, we are collecting these sewing residuals and upcycling them into brand new cellulosic fiber materials for clothing or other materials for home products, for example.
Great. Thank you very much. And Mike, can you please mention any other technologies or updates that you'd like to highlight?
Yeah, so I just wanted to, you'll be getting or can get copies of this, and you can reach out and ask for more details. So I just wanted to briefly give you a feel for the broad range of products that we have in the Hyosung portfolio. First, just looking at sustainability, we do offer recycled products in both our Creora brand, our MyPen, nylon, and also our polyester. All of these products are GRS certified, and they're all made from 100% waste. So that's kind of a common theme across our portfolio. The other thing I'll point out about our recycled family is we're starting to combine our recycled polymer base with our functional products. So now you could get cooling yarns that are also made from recycled products, that sort of thing. Okay. For the next chart, an additional product that we focus on for sustainability is our bio-based spandex. Okay, so this is kind of interesting in that we're taking petroleum-based raw materials and we're replacing them with renewable corn-based raw materials. So as the corn's growing, it's obviously pulling carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere and therefore reducing the carbon footprint. So this is a very interesting product. Moving on, we have a host of performance specialty products in both nylon and polyester. So again, not trying to get into detail, but just so people are aware that these are there. So if you want cooling, if you want heat generation, high tenacity for robust products, we have Robic. We have synthetics that are cotton-like and soft to touch. We have mechanical stretch. And then the last chart, we'll talk just briefly about our stretch performance portfolio. So again, our Creora, we've got many variants. We've got different powers. Power Fit is kind of our premier product. Anti-odor, we talked about the black dope dyed as well as our dyeable spandexes. Mentioned our low heat settable product. And obviously for swimwear, we also have chlorine resistance, as well as there's other chemicals that can impact garment performance, such as body oils and sunscreens. And so for that, we have a special spandex called Activewear to address those concerns and those needs. So again, that's just a highlight of kind of the broadness of the portfolio. So if there's something people would want to get more information on, we would love to have a conversation.
Thank you, Andreas and Mike, for going through other offerings that you have available. Sounds like between all the different technologies and fibers, there's definitely something for everyone as they consider implementing these sustainable fibers and innovations into their collections. And now I'd like to turn over to Q&A. So for everyone's info, if you are called in through the link on your computer or phone, there is a Q&A box that you should be able to send in your questions. Additionally, we will leave this slide up so that you can jot down the contact information for Mike and Andreas. If you don't feel comfortable submitting your question through here, you can definitely reach out after this presentation or during. So I'd like to start off with some of the questions that we've received. And this goes to Mike. Do you have Aerolite in a recycled version?
Actually, we do. We've recently come out with converting our Aerolite to a recycled product. So if you want that lightweight and that soft touch, you now have an environmental story as well. So again, it would be 100% reclaimed waste, and it's GRS certified.
Thank you, Mike. And then I got another question. It says, where is the main market, and is it blended with cotton? I believe from this collection, it's mainly using Lenzing's wood-based cellulose fibers with Hyosung. So this collection specifically does not have cotton. However, that does not mean that you cannot take this blend and do a tri-blend to insert that cotton in there. Andreas, do you have anything else to add to that?
No, I would say, again, if the question is about aerolite, its fundamental polymer is polyester. And so we all know that's a fairly versatile polymer. And so its companion yarns, that aerolite can go with is going to be similar to companion yarns that regular polyesters can go with. So I think that's consistent.
Yes, and then we got a question related to the main market and blending with cotton, is if any of these are suitable for printing.
You want to take that, Andreas? Because I think a lot of the companion yarn being used.
Well, I mean, it's definitely possible, but since Lenzing fibers are cellulosic based and Hyosung fibers are polyester based, nylon based, you have to look at the right dye stuff and the printing method. So transfer printing is not possible.
Great. Another question, Mike, in the beginning of the webinar, you mentioned that you bring textile solutions to the value chain. What did you mean by that?
Yeah, so we're trying to be smart about our resources and our developments and our growth. And so I think I mentioned in the beginning that, days of fiber producer making the yarn and throwing it to a mill, and then the mill showing fabric to the garment producers and then to the brands. I think those days are over. And I think the need for things like sustainability and confidence in supply chains has altered the way that fiber producers work with the value chain. So we specifically have great relationships with several of the key brands and retailers around the world. We actually use them to help guide our developments so that anytime we're spending R&D money or efforts, it's pretty much focused on a specific consumer. And so again, we spend a lot of time working not just with mills, but with key brands around the world.
Thank you, Mike. Andreas, a question for you. You mentioned that lensing fibers can be used for industrials. For which other applications can lensing fibers be used in sports textiles?
Sure. It can be used for, like, for example, for laminations, for fill, so filled fiber for paddings, for example, for jackets, blended with polyester fibers or polypropylene balls, for fleece fabrics, for jackets, like, for example, where tencel is inside. It's a brushed fleece, for example, which helps also the environment because the microparticles of tencel fibers dissolve in the ocean, do not leave anything open. And laminations with 3 layers, with a synthetic layer outside, a membrane inside, and tencel poly inside for better moisture absorption, is also in the meantime available. So there are different applications possible also for technical products.
Right, including for failed products as well, and for those that are looking to do insulation with without down.
Yeah, yeah. There are the fill products. There are some fill products in the market for apparel with natural fibers, like or recycled natural fibers blended with tencel, but also with polyester. And we noticed also with our R&D department that tencel also really releases heat when it is trapped into a medium, into a sleeping bag, for example, when it absorbs moisture. So there are some properties which are very unique for our fibers as fill products.
Mm-hmm. Great. And then we've got another question. It was great to get trend information and also look at the sample garments or the sketches of them. Who did the trend work? Did you hire an outside agency?
Actually not, no. We at Hyosung, we have a fashion design center. So we have a team of people that are working generally 18 months out, looking at trends, and they'll do some formal trend work twice per year. And so they just don't leave it there, and I think that's the value of it. So they'll actually take the trends and the consumer needs and drill down into garment concepts and fabric concepts, and all the way back to fiber. And so the result is not just, hey, here's a cool trend, but it's, hey, here's a trend we understand, and here's how you can meet your consumer needs. Here's the silhouettes that we think are going to be nice and hot. Here's the fabrics that can meet that need. And oh, by the way, here, you can go to this mill and get it. So it's a much more practical way of helping our customer base in the value chain. And so we have a lot of good interactions with our brands, our retailers, and our mills just because of that service we provide.
Great. Thank you. I've got a question about additional information and sampling. Can you share with our participants how they can receive information and request fabric references and headers?
So we're going to be sending, I think, a PDF out to people that have signed up. So you'll have additional information that you can go through. I know we didn't want to go through every single fabric on there. We wanted to highlight certain things. So once you receive the PDF, you could look at more detail. At Hyosung, again, we have 40 sales and marketing offices around the world. So depending upon where you are or where you're choosing to source things, we could have a discussion about the right person for you to be working with. So from a Hyosung perspective, you've got my contact information there. Feel free to reach out to me, and I'll either help you or connect you to the right person that can.
Great. We do have a resource list as well that has the contact information for the mills that collaborated for this collection. And so we will also be able to share that, and you can feel free to reach out to the mill partners directly. A couple more questions. Andreas, which new trends do you see coming for active sportswear where lensing fibers can create a benefit?
Yeah, thank you. That's a good question. Due to the pandemic, we noticed that people are now more aware about their health, so especially kinds of sports like yoga or gymnastics, aerobatics, indoor training, or cycling on an ergometer or cross-train are becoming more and more popular. So people, due to the lockdown, people are also discovered cycling, for example, as new sport. So we learned from our partners also that cycling apparel showed a boom in the market last year. So, and we believe that these trends like indoor training or yogas will continue for the next year and maybe even longer.
Great, thank you. And that is it for the questions that have come in. Andreas and Mike, do you have any parting remarks that you'd like to share with our listeners?
No, I'm just looking forward to hopefully within the next 3-4 months that we could all get out and reach our new normal and actually have trade shows and customer visits and work more interactively. So that, I guess, is without said, everyone I'm sure is looking forward to that.
Yeah, same with me. So I'm looking very much forward to see you in person, hopefully. Next half of the half of the next year, maybe the first half of the year will not be possible to see each other, but maybe we can meet each other via means of webinars or phone conferences. Look very much forward to see you in person.
Thank you both, Andreas and Mike, for this presentation. I hope that all of our listeners have learned something or come away with some new information. Thank you to everyone who joined us for this presentation. Unfortunately, we can't see each other in person. We would have loved to have done this in person so you could feel the fabrics, but this is the next best thing. Again, you have the contact info here, and we will be sending follow-up information to everyone who registered. Please, until then, stay safe and have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you, everyone.